morning, children. Welcome to Mrs Pelosi's Phase 6 Phonics group. And this morning, first of all, if you've got your pencil and paper ready or a whiteboard and pen, we're going to do our retrieval practice. So we're going to review and go over words that we've already learnt this week. So on Monday, we learnt the rule that after a W, A sounds like O. So I want you to try and write want. So I'll pause the video whilst you write want. And then I'd like you to write the word swan. So sound it out to help you segment it. On, swan. And remember, after an A, after a W, A sounds like O. So you have to do the opposite though in your spelling, and remember that it's a letter A that represents that O sound. So well done. And the next two words are following the rule where or sounds like after a W. So your first word I'd like you to practice writing is worms. So worms. So pause the video if you need to. And the next word I'd like you to practice writing is worst. Segment it to spell worst. And remember the spelling rule for this one. When there's an or sound after a W, it sounds like but it's spelt O-R, just to confuse you. So now that you've had a go at that, we've done our retrieval practice, it's time to introduce our new spelling rule for today. And our new spelling rule is that when you hear a V at the end of a word, it always has an E after it, and the E is silent. So we just pronounce it or say it V. Could you say it? My turn. V. Your turn. Brilliant. So remember, whenever you hear a V sound at the end of a word, when it ends in V, always add an E. So we're going to have a practice now at reading some of those words. So let's sound them out. First one, and I've put the dots and dashes on for you to help you sound them out. A, V. Blend it, cave. So we've got split digraph A there, split digraph vowel sound, and I can hear that there's a V in the middle splitting them up. So ave, cave. Notice we've got V and E because no words end in V unless you've shortened a word, and that would have a dot next to it to show that it's been abbreviated. But generally, words that end in V always have a V and an E together. They never just end in V. Otherwise that would say cav, not cave. So the V and the E go together. Next word. Let's sound it out, segment it. Ave, brave. So we've got that split digraph A sound, and the V splits them up because they're chatty friends. Next word. Let's sound it out with the dots. Ave, save. And again, we have got a split digraph A sound, and the V splits them up. Ave, save. Next word. Let's sound it out. Live. Notice how the V and the E always stick together at the end of words. Next word. Love. I love my cat. And I know, Scarlett, if you're watching, you love Dotty as much as I love Twinkle. Next word. Give. Your turn. Next word. Blend it, have. Your turn. Next word. Sh. So I've got a digraph there, 2 letters, 1 sound, and can you spot the split digraph vowel sound at the end? That's right, there's an A split digraph. Sh, ave, shave. Your turn. Super. So now we've sounded them out, I want you to read the words straight away without sounding them out. I'm just going to flash the cards at you and I'd like you to read them. Ready? Super reading, children. I bet you managed to read all those words brilliantly. Now, I have got some Year 2 common exception words that you need to just remember how to spell, because they're really tricky to sound out because they've got some spellings in them that don't follow our spelling rules, because that's the nature of the English language. It's very complicated. So one of those words is people. And Mrs. Hurst taught me a little rhyme to help remember how we spell people. Would you like to sing it out for us, Mrs. Hurst?
Okay. P-E-O-P-L-E.
P-E-O-P-L-E.
P-E-O-P-L-E. That's how we spell people.
P-E-O-P-L-E. 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 That's how we spell people. So that might help you remember. And another method or strategy that I talked to you about is using a mnemonic. And a mnemonic is a funny word. All it means is that you use a special rhyme or a special saying to help you remember the spelling of it. And I think I've said this one to you before. For said, I say Sally Ann is dancing. S for Sally, A for Anne, I for is, D for dancing. So when I'm trying to write said and I think, oh, I can't remember how to spell that tricky word because it sounds like it should be S-E-D, but it's not. And I say, oh, Sally Ann is dancing. And it reminds me. And our last tricky word is because. And again, I use a little mnemonic for this. And I think you know this one because Mrs. Pelosi goes on about this one a lot. Big elephants can always understand small elephants. B for big, E for elephants, C for can, A for always, U for understand, S for small, E for elephants. Because that is a tricky one to spell. But you can also chunk it up. We know how to spell B because that follows the be, me, he, she rule for E. And then we've got K, so beak. And then Oz is the funny bit. That's the tricky part of because. So try and use your mnemonic to help you. Big elephants can always understand small elephants. Super. Now that we've practiced our words, I've got some sentences here for you to have a go at reading with our either common exception words and our VE spelling rule. Are we ready to have a practice? So first word, tricky word, P-E-O-P-L-E, people. Now we've got that spelling rule, V-E at the end. People love to give hugs. Tricky word, with gloves. People love to give hugs with gloves. Now have a go at the second one yourselves. Have a go at reading this with a grown-up. Did you get that, children? The baby went to live in a cave. And remember to, if you can't read a word, sound it out. Use your sound knowledge to help you read and blend the word. So B-E, baby. I know that A has two sounds. It can sound like A or it can sound like A. So B-A-B or B-A-B. Baby sounds right to me, not babby. And also I know that the letter Y is another alternative pronunciation. It can sometimes make the Y sound or it can make the E sound. So baby, that doesn't sound right. Baby, that sounds right. So always use your sounds if you're not sure and use those alternative pronunciations as well to check. Super. So to finish off and to practice to see if you can apply the sounds that you've learnt this morning and your common exception words, I would like you to have a go at writing this sentence. So we do a lot of dictation in this class. I'm going to dictate this sentence and you're going to have a go at writing it for me. So remember, capital letters at the start of sentences, finger spaces in between words, full stop at the end of this one because it's a statement. So we don't need a question or an exclamation mark. So first word, my. So tricky word, my. Sound it out. I, my. Finger space. Dog. Dog. My dog. Next is the word was. Tricky word was. Finger space. Next word with our VE spelling ending that we've learnt today, brave. So remember what Mrs Pelosi said about the V, it's never on its own, it always joins with an E. So brave, my dog was brave, finger space, when, when, finger space, he. Remember our spelling rule for he, she, me, we and be, he, finger space, splashed. So segment to spell sp. I can hear an S and a P. Sp, spl, a, and then sh. I know there's a digraph making that sh sound. Splashed. And we've got that ed ending for present tense regular verbs. When we change them to the past tense, they end in ed. My dog was brave when he splashed in, finger space, a, finger space, wave. So that's one of our VE spelling rules that we've learnt today, wave, and then that at the end. So I'll say it one more time. My dog was brave when he splashed in a wave. Brilliant. Hope you enjoyed that phonics lesson, children. And if you managed to write these sentences down, please upload it to Seesaw and we can check that you've learnt our spelling rule of today. See you soon. Bye.